Hello everyone, this is Sumant. In this video, let's discuss break, continue and pass statements in Python. In the previous video, we have already discussed the loops in Python like for and while loops. So, if you want to exit the loop completely, or if you want to skip any iteration, or if you want to ignore that particular condition, you can just use this break, continue and pass statements. So, these are also called as loop control statements. So let's discuss one by one. First one is break. If you just listen the word break, you can just get like we're gonna break something. So there will be some looping going on, and if you just use this break statement, it will just break that ongoing loop. It will just break that loop, and it will just come out of that loop. So let's understand those with examples. Here I will just take a normal example like a normal list with 5 values, and I'm just gonna write some loop here. I'm just write for I in a print I, and I'm just writing if I equal to like 3, if I value equal to 3, then I have to break the loop, right? If you just run this code, you can just see first it will just loop through this list here for I in a print I. Like first it will just loop through this, and first element is 1, so it will just print I, and it will just see if I equal to 3. No, it's not, right? So again it will just loop, and again it will just print 2, and again it will just 3. So we have given print I, right, first, so it will just print that 3, and it will check if I equal to 3, so the condition is true. So that's why it will just break, means it will just come out of that loop. It will just break the ongoing loop, and it won't iterate further, right? And there are some 2 values, 4 and 5, so it won't print those values. So that's about this break statement. Even you can use this break statement in while condition, even like in while statement, even you can use this. And the next thing what I have to discuss is continue. Let's say if you want to skip some values, right? Let's say take this same example, a is equal to 1 2 3 5, the list, and for I in a print I, if I equal to 3, I'm just, instead of this break, I will just give continue. Let's write another else block here, else print I. Now if you see the output here, it's just skipped the value 3. So first it will just iterate through this list here, present here. If I equal, it will just check, first one is 1, right? First the value is 1, so it will just check I is equal to 1, like the condition is false, so it will just come to this else block, and it will just print that I1. Similarly, it will check all those conditions, all the values here, and when it comes to 3 here, it will just check whether if I equal to 3, so the condition is true, right? So it will just come here, and it will just execute this, like it will just continue, means it will just continue to the next iteration. It won't print here, right? It won't come to else block, and it won't print 3 here. It will just move on to the next iteration. So what's the next iteration? Like next is 4, right? So again it will check if 4 equal to 3. No, so this condition is false. So again it will come to else, and it will just print 4, and similarly the 5. So that's about this continue statement here. And the last statement is pass statement. So pass statement, actually to say pass doesn't do anything, it's just do nothing. Let's understand with examples. Instead of here continue, I'm just giving pass here. So what I have to do means, if it will just iterate through the loop, and if I is equal to 3, I don't want to print I, right? I don't want to print 3, just I want to print the numbers which are not 3, right? So for that I'm just giving if I equal to 3, and I don't want to print I, right? So if you not want to print anything, if you don't give anything, right, and if you just enter here, you can see here it just gives an error, right? It just gives an error. So if I just, instead of that, if I just use pass here, you can see we didn't get any error. So that's the use of this pass statement. So when you don't want to write any code or something like syntactical, you don't want you don't want to print or you don't want to write any statement, you can just mention this pass statement so that it will just move on. Like it will just assume that something you have given and it will just move on to the next one. So that's the use of this pass statement. And the two things which I have to explain you is using else with for and while loop. Let's understand else with while. So we have already discussed while loop, right? Like this is a code which generates the numbers from 1 to 5, right? If you just use else with while, the else, the condition or statement which you have written in else will be executed only when this while loop is completed. Like when it is completely executed, then it will come to else and it will print the statement which is in else. For example, if I just print here, you can see while first I have given I is equal to 1 and while I less than 6, print I is equal to I plus 1, it will just loop through it and it will just print up to 5. So it just completed the whole iterations. So it will come to else and it will print completed the while loop, right? And if I didn't completed this while loop, if I just use break in between, like if I just use break here, if I just use break here, and you can see now it just printed only 1, right? It just printed only 1, means we have just breaked this while loop, right? So that's the reason why it's not printing else. So else will be printed, like the statement which is in the else will be printed only when this while loop is completely executed, like all the iterations which we have given is completed, only then the statement in the else will be executed. Similarly, in the case of if you just see the example here, and for I in a print I have given else else completed the for loop. So if I just give enter here, you can see it just completed all the loops, like it just iterated over through this entire list. So again it comes to the else block and it will just print completed the for loop. In the same case, if I just give like break statement here, you can see even in this case the statement which is in else is not executed. When you are using else with while or for, you have to remember that the statement in that else will be executed only if while or for is completely iterated or completed, only then it will be executed. So that's about this video, and I hope you understood break, continue, pass, and how to use this else with while and for. If you learned something from the video, just like the video and feel free to share your feedback in the comment section. Thanks for watching.